Welcome to another Acoustic Alternatives podcast. Big thanks to Rhodes Studios for opening their doors to me so that I can do this podcast from their lovely home. And if you're a musician, if you're a podcaster, if you're a DJ, this is a place you're going to want to check out in Ypsilanti, Michigan, because they offer some services that are pretty special and 24/7. You have a keypad operation to get yourself in, and they've been really kind to me in the several months I've been doing the podcast. And if you've been watching the several months that I've been doing this, you might notice something. I actually have a face. I have a mask, but I have a face because now we can do this. And I've got my first non-masked and out-of-town guests. I'm so happy to welcome Bradley Rhodes and Brent Shuttleworth, who record as Elevado. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks for having us.
So good to see you. I had a pleasure of seeing an actual concert with you recently, and it blew me away. I knew it would because I was already familiar with the voice of Brad Rhodes, and I explored a little bit of Brent before you got here. And I think before we even start talking, people should hear you guys sing.
Sure.
What are we going to start with?
Down.
All right.
Yeah.
You want to do colors?
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right. Elevado.
The system, the great scream, the starry night. The true dreams were not seen in black and white. My heroes were weirdos just like me. So maybe a little crazy is all we need. I'll paint a masterpiece with every shade that I see. Show me your colors, no shame, no cover. We can shine like lovers, living in color. Oh, 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 we don't need apologies. Oh, 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 for being who we're meant to be. So deep breath, know that you're beautiful. The world needs your daydreams, however unusual. Let that palette sing. I want to see your everything. Show me your colors, no shame, no cover. We can shine like lovers, living in color. Oh, 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 we don't need apologies. Oh, 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 for being who we're meant to be. Oh, 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 show me your colors, no shame, no cover. We can shine like lovers, living in color. Show me your colors, no shame, no cover. We can shine like lovers, living in color. Oh, 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 we don't need apologies. Oh, 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 for being who we're meant to be.
Colors, Elevado in studio on Acoustic Alternatives. I'm really honored that you've chosen to do the podcast. And
Thanks for
Man, we're honored
having
to be
us,
here.
man.
no, seriously, this is a big deal to get world-class musicians from outside of the state to come to be on the podcast. It's just making me feel like I'm doing something a little bit bigger than I was a week or two ago. Nothing against, again, I love all the people that have been here.
Yeah.
It's that I invite them because I want them here. It's not
Right.
like nobody's making me do anything.
Right.
And to have the opportunity to have you guys here is just amazing because this project isn't really even fully, like, it's not, you haven't put much out, right?
Yeah,
So
right.
it's still a new thing.
Very
Yeah,
new.
it's new. Yeah. A lot came from this past year. This past year was transformative, I think, for me.
Yeah.
And just Brad and I really getting to know each other so much more deeply than we did before was for me was such an important part of the project and creative process. Really trusting each other creatively, but also knowing each other, getting to know each other a lot deeper as friends.
It's cool. We'll get into that for sure. We'll get into how this came about. But I guess because you both have had individual careers prior to meeting, I'm going to separate you for a second, even though you're both in the same room.
We got the thin plexiglass
to protect you from your germs, even though you guys have been, sleeping in the same square spaces for the last couple of months.
Right.
So, Bradley, you and I met when you were singing with Melodyne.
Right.
I actually had the pleasure of interviewing you with the band, or at least a short version of the band, a couple of years back. So let's look at when you started making music. Growing up in Northern Virginia, right? Mm-hmm. That's where you're from. When did music choose you? Because I have a feeling that's how it was.
Yeah. It was always in my house, and my mom played piano, and I'm the youngest of 4 siblings.
Sounds familiar.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, me too.
That's crazy. And you said music was in your house?
Kind of all the time, yeah.
Yeah. It was just always kind of a part of how everyone in my family kind of hung out. My mom would be playing like Billy Joel on the piano, and we'd be gathered around singing and, criticizing each other's harmonies and stuff like that. So it was from an early age, and I was told that I was just singing from the very beginning before I was really talking, and being on the back of my mom's bike while she's on bike rides, and she would pay me $0.25 to just like give her like 5 minutes of silence as I was singing. So yeah, from an early age.
I can't believe that.
It never worked. I never got the money.
No. So besides Billy Joel, what other things were being played on the stereo at your home?
It was a kind of a weird mixture. My mom did love Billy Joel and Elton John, and my dad's more of the rocker, so it was more Led Zeppelin's his number one, Pink Floyd, The Doors. But I think kind of a bigger influence was we grew up going to church and hearing the music at church all the time.
Sure.
And so it was these contemporary Christian artists that were played probably a majority of the time, like Stephen Curtis Chapman and Michael W. Smith. And that was the first stuff that I saw. Like those were the first concerts that I saw too. So that was kind of my introduction to that. And I just became like obsessed with Stephen Curtis Chapman and the acoustic guitar. After seeing him actually do it, I was like, I have to learn how. I went as far as I went to the hair cuttery when I was like 11 years old, and I brought a picture of Stephen Curtis Chapman like with his guitar rocking out on stage. You can like hardly see his hair, but I was like, can you make my hair look like that? I remember they laughed, and I was like, I don't see what's funny about this. Make me look like that.
Because I haven't pulled the album out in so long, I have a favorite song of his. Change? What about the change?
Yeah.
Love that song.
So it's like not many, I don't know. I guess I thought they were like the most famous people on earth growing up. And, so I think, all of that, all of those worlds, I think, came to kind of influence, later on kind of the stuff that I was writing, because there was something about like the spiritual element of some of that music, but of all of the music basically, and it's all kind of the same. It kind of blended in to be like its own thing. So
you could have gotten that from U2 even. U2
for sure.
Has a little bit of that. That's
And from Village, I think it's all there. I think.
Well, when did you first? There must have been at some point somebody turned to you and said, "Holy moly, you can sing!" Because you have a very gifted voice, and I'm a little jealous that I can't sing like you.
Thanks.
Was there a point when somebody said, "Oh my gosh, you should be a singer"? Even though you were singing.
My brothers, we always fought. Like my brothers we fought about like who was the best singer. So I didn't. It wasn't until I was in like 6th grade, my mom tricked me into going to an audition because I was incredibly shy and didn't want to be in front of people. But she thought like musical theater could be a good place and to kind of come out of my shell. So it was there that like I was able to audition and sing in front of people in the first time and start figuring out. So yeah, I'd say like around the middle school age or something is when I was like, okay, I think I can do it.
It's pretty early.
Yeah.
Developed some confidence along the way, I think. I've seen you on stage.
Yeah.
I think you believe in yourself as much as I do, so there we go.
Thanks, man.
Do you remember the first song that you wrote yourself? Uh-oh.
No.
Psych.
I actually, it was called Why Me. I was like a tortured soul from the beginning, but it was this, I got an acoustic guitar for my birthday, with my birthday money for like $50, and I got this chord book and learned 3 chords, and it was like I learned how to play the first ones in the book, which were like Amazing Grace and Leave It on a Jet Plane, and I was like, well, they play these songs with 3 chords, so I wrote like 7 songs with those. I was like, and then when I was like, I guess I'll learn another one, so. It was like I just wanted to learn how to play guitar so I could write, basically.
Are you proud of that first song at all? I mean, when you think about it? Like, as a kid? How old were you?
I think I was in 6th grade. I remember when I did that. I'm proud of it. I wouldn't play it live.
No, I'm not asking you to. I'm just curious, like, as you look back at your life and you started there, like where you are today, out touring the world, country at least.
Yeah.
Can we go out of the world yet? It's got to be still a pivotal point in your life when you think about it started here and I'm still doing it.
Oh, of course. That was like the itch, and it started with that, and then I became just obsessed with writing songs, and it just became, as I got older in middle school, high school, that's when I realized like the therapy part of it. I was like, and that was the place where I could share everything, and I didn't feel scared about that at that time, like even playing it for people, I always felt like very safe within the bars of the song. It wasn't until you play the last chord that I'd feel a little raw after that. But it's the way it's been in my life. It's just kind of evolved over the years, but super grateful for the first tune.
Was there ever another path in mind? Did you ever have anything else you wanted to do? 6th grade, that's...
No, I did go to college for a semester, and I, as a physical education major, because I was like, if I didn't do this, I was like, I think I could see myself being a teacher and like coaching or something. There's a lot of teachers in my family, and I lasted a semester, and I was like, yeah, this is the only thing I want to do, and this is the way I wanted to do it, was to tour. And so Melodyne just kind of started touring when we were 19, 20 years old, and went from there.
What can I ask what the status of Melodyne is? On hold or hiatus or done?
Well, we had been planning to do a farewell show right as the pandemic was hitting, and so we've rescheduled a few times. So I think our plan as of now, it's in March of 2022 now, and we just kind of want to do the one show. Something else, if we do another one somewhere down the road, I don't know, we'll see what happens. But everyone's on good terms and doing on their own musical or non-musical paths, which is cool.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, before we explore the life of Brent, why don't we do another song that is in Elevado song? How about that? What would you like to do next?
What do you want to do? Want to do
Swing?
Yeah. I count the pennies in my savings. I count the hours that I sleep. I spend the minutes of my waking in the grip of scarcity. What if tomorrow was a promise and we took it as a gift? Good or bad, it can stay a secret, 'cause the moment's where we live. Would you swing, better, better swing? Swing, swing, better, better swing. I wanna learn through every shadow, put a few miles on my feet. I think I'm done with shallow breathing through a life that cuts so deep. I wanna love without condition. I wanna give with no return. I wanna do the shit that matters. I wanna let my fire burn. I wanna Swing, better, better swing. Swing, swing, better, better swing. Swing, swing, better, better swing. I wanna swing, better, better swing. Born to try before we fly, until we clip our wings and sing beneath the open sky. Safe and sound on solid ground, strangers to our dreams with memories above the clouds. I wanna swing, better, better swing. Swing, swing, better, better swing. Swing, swing, better, better swing. Swing, swing, better, better swing. I wanna swing, better, better swing. Swing, swing, better, better swing. Swing, swing, better, better swing. I wanna swing, better, better swing.
It's a track called Swing. Elevado is in the studio today on Acoustic Alternatives from... there's a digital EP that's out there, right, so far?
We got Asheville is a 5-song EP, and then Arcadia Sessions, which both volumes are a 6-song EP.
Okay, so there is music out there.
Yeah,
it's not physically printed on any physical media, but at this point it lives in the digital world.
Right.
Okay, well, that's a start. I'm an old school. I like something physical, so at some point, if there's a round silver thing that has your music on, let me know, because that's what I want to hear. So I love everything that you guys have done so far, and the show I heard, and I'm excited for more to come. And I have met Brad before, and there was a quick you like the guy right away, and you have
thank you.
There's a kinship.
Likewise, dude.
But then I met Brent, and it's the same thing.
Yeah.
you found another guy just like you. Kathy had said you guys have a bromance. I was like, that's exactly what it is.
That's what everyone said before we met. I had 10 people come up to me because we played in the same kind of scene but never actually met, and they were like, you have to meet Brent. I feel like you guys would get along really well. So
I heard the same. I heard the same thing.
But yeah, then you basically bring him into my world because I already know you, and I feel like the first time I talked to you, I felt like, oh, you're my brother too.
Yeah.
And I like that, and I like that you're here today, and I get to learn a little bit more about you. It's really nice to meet you.
Yeah,
so Nashville is not home these days. It was recently. Home is where?
Home is in Rockville, Maryland.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I've been for the past 6 months or so. The first 5 months we were in Alexandria, Virginia, and then I moved up to Rockville, and Brad headed west, and
How does your mail find you? You've been in so many places from what I've read.
I know. It's actually pretty complicated. I have a driver's license in Maryland. I have all of my bank information out of Tennessee.
Oh no.
I have a Florida license plate. It's pretty confusing.
Where have you spent the most part of your life? What state?
I would say probably in and around New York City.
Okay.
So I was in New York City for a while after school, and then eventually moved down to Nashville. I was down there for 9 years. Was up in Boston for a year and then came back. So,
well, who knows where your musical journey begins, but you do. Tell me where your musical journey begins. Where did it?
My musical journey, I think, really, as cliche as this story sounds, it really began with my parents and their record collection. My dad's a big Jethro Tull fan. And my mom was a huge Janis Joplin fan, and they had Cat Stevens records and Fleetwood Mac and Crosby, Stills and Nash, and a bunch of the really great classic records that sparked my interest initially. And then I think I went from there and probably listened to a lot of music that they didn't really dig.
That's normal for a kid.
And then I saw some really great live shows, and that really, I think the first time I saw the Allman Brothers, I was like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. and so the Allman Brothers were a huge influence. I saw a band called Sugar,
Bob Mould.
Bob Mould,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of like more indie rock stuff. I guess alternative rock stuff that I was into originally, and lots of hip hop music, especially around New York City. Really, it spoke to me in a deep way. So
I think you guys need to learn how to cover If I Can't Change Your Mind from the Sugar catalog. That's a great song.
Oh, that's a great song. Hoover Dam, that whole Copper Blue record that's what I really got into. Helpless.
Yeah.
You know, would listen to the radio and I would like record the countdowns every night.
I was a top 40 kid, totally as a kid.
Yeah,
Like
me too.
my Billy Joel, Elton John phase. I mean, it just top 40 in general.
Yeah.
Lasted until I started working in a record store, and I got influenced by the owner of the store, and then eventually every employee that we started to hire. So I came in only knowing really top 40 and a little bit of stuff, and I left there with so much that I carry with me today.
Yeah. Yeah.
You absorb whatever you can.
Yeah, I think I think that there are some artists for me that are like they're not they can't be, they're distinct and original, and they can't be copied. And if you go to a certain band or artist for a certain feeling, and like the feeling or experience I get from the Red Hot Chili Peppers as compared to Rage Against the Machine or Nas, or the people that I really like, that really spoke to me, they're all so radically different, but I felt the same sense of mystery and inspiration from all of them, so
It's great.
But Billy Joel, that Stormfront record was big for me, man. And So It Goes, that's my favorite Billy Joel tune.
I'm a little older, so my Glass House is Stranger, 52nd Street, those are albums.
Yeah, Turnstiles. Yeah, I mean,
all that stuff.
man.
Yeah, great stuff.
Just great stuff. Yeah.
Well, your resume is actually pretty impressive when you look online. All the things that you've had your music on, music featured in VH1, MTV, NBC, CBS. You've shared stages with George Clinton, Robert Randolph, even someone who likes me a little bit, Chris Trapper, who thanked me for one of his records. Great guy.
I love Chris Trapper, and Chris
man.
Trapper is one of my favorite songwriters of all time. I think he's a genius, and I was our producer that we work with, Mike Shimshak in Nashville, is really good friends with Chris Trapper and used to tour with the Push Stars. And so I became friends with Ryan McMillan, who's the drummer of the Push Stars, and we did a bunch of shows out on the West Coast. He's like, "You got to meet my friend Chris. You guys are going to get along so well." So we wound up, the Push Stars did this reunion tour a couple years ago, and they asked me to open up, and I got to do some extensive traveling and a lot of talking to those guys, and a lot of talking with Chris. And it inspires me on such a deep level, just as a human being. He is, he's seen it. He's seen so much in his career, and is so wise. I can't say enough about him. I really just deeply love him as a songwriter, and the conversations that we've had just about touring, or when we were talking, like when we came in, just about having this representative that shows up all of a sudden, right? And you're not the fullness of yourself, so you almost need to fall back into who you essentially are. And that's kind of the trick and the struggle for artists, is that a lot of them are so sensitive and so thoughtful and take on so much that it's tough to have that those windows open all the time, so. But he's
a good dude.
He's one of the greats, man.
He's been very kind to me over the years. In fact, one of the most surprising things that has ever happened to me is the record of his that has Colin Hay and Rob Thomas as guests on. I'm thanked in the thank you notes.
Yeah,
man. Somebody who was a bigger fan was a bigger fan of his than I was, got her CD in the mail. And she said, "Do you know that you're thanked in the credits on this?" I'm like, "What? Because I had had him in a couple of times at the radio station, and he just appreciated my support, and he showed it by throwing my name in the credits,
That's awesome.
which was a really kind gesture. So,
man.
some career highlights for me. What's been a career highlight for you as you've traveled the world?
Career highlight for me, it's. I mean, I guess it's easy to like point to just shows that I've been a part of, but career highlights. I have to like fast forward to this past year, right? Because, in the evolution of getting to know yourself, right? And which is kind of the journey that most of us are on. Maybe some of us aren't on it or don't want to be on it, or it's irrelevant to us, or we think that it's irrelevant to us. I've always wanted to have as much creative freedom as possible. And I think I think in the past year, I realized that started with the distance between, this kind of performance or facade I put on and, who I actually am, who all of us actually are, So and that, I think, brought me into a different space. And I've been so incredibly inspired to work with Brad. I was a really big fan of Melodyne, and then when we became friends and got to know each other in Haiti, it was really like I just felt an immediate connection and kinship with him. But creatively, he's my my favorite songwriter and singer.
Dude,
so it's like I get to like work. I get to work with my friend, and I get to work on stuff that typically in the songwriter community that we've existed in for most of our touring careers, isn't really the norm, or like trying to expand beyond the boundaries of that. So that's what's exciting to me. So in terms of career highlights, this creative space that we're in right now is the highlight for me.
It's a great project.
Thank you, man.
I'm really glad you guys found each other, because the music you're making is special, and I'm excited. There's got to be more. It's not just as a one-off project. I think you guys are going to be together for a while, because you've got you gel in a way that I don't see that often. So
thanks, man.
It's a good thing. Another song?
Sure.
Is there any way, real quick, if I could just get this to be turned up a little bit? I'm sorry, Doug.
Let's see. 3.
Hey, there we yeah.
Which one do you want to do?
Want to do family?
Yeah.
Have ourselves a little party?
Do a little party. I like it.
Play a song called Family. Oh yeah. Now I can hear it. Nice. Chopsticks to heart and soul. Got daddy jamming to the radio. Mom's in the kitchen singing Billy Joel. Man, there really ain't no place like home. All I gotta do is close my eyes to find some homemade paradise. Forever chillin' with my ride or dies. Yeah, I can feel it in the air tonight. If you're feeling lonely, we got room. Ooh, dancing underneath the silver moon. Welcome to the family. It ain't nothing fancy, but there's room for you. Ooh.
If you need some loving, we got plenty in the oven.
We're shaking, it's a celebration. Join the rendezvous, it's true.
If you're feeling broken, then the door is always open for you.
Yeah, all the love is free. I'm positive that positivity is the only thing that we all need. Without the blood, we're still family. No one's meant to make it on their own. Ooh. And that's why we come back to home, sweet home. Welcome to the family. It ain't nothing fancy, but there's room for you. Ooh.
If you need some loving, we got plenty in the oven.
We're shaking, it's a celebration. Join the rendezvous, it's true.
If you're feeling broken, then the door is always open for you.
Whoa, oh, whoa, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Whoa, oh, whoa, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. And when the party finally learns the song, ooh, well, that's when everybody sings along. Welcome to the family. It ain't nothing fancy, but there's room for you. Ooh.
If you need some loving, we got plenty in the oven.
We're shaking, it's a celebration. Join the rendezvous, it's true.
If you're feeling broken, then the door is always open for you.
Whoa, oh, oh, whoa, oh, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Whoa, oh, oh, whoa, oh, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Family is music from Melodyne on
Yeah.
Acoustic Alternatives, and I don't know for sure, but is that the first one you guys wrote together?
First one we released
First one
together.
released, okay.
Yeah.
So it was on the right track. It was the first of something.
Right. Yep.
What was the first one you wrote together? Or are you writing together?
We oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
It'd be Dust Dance, right?
Dust Dance, yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy because the way that all of this happened, Brent was talking about Mike Shimshak, who is our producer and very close friend. Brent's, you've been friends with him for what, 10 years or something?
Yeah, like 12 or 13 now.
Yeah. And so I saw Brent, he played for one of our charity events. It was the first time I'd ever seen him live and met him, and saw his setup, which you saw last night, a version of that. And I love that music, and was watching it, was so intrigued and so interested. And I like turned to a friend and was like, I don't know who Brent's team is, but I want to be on that team. And I texted Brent, because this was right as Melodyne was kind of deciding that we weren't going to be continuing. So I texted Brent to see if he would produce a song for me. And he's like, I haven't really produced like other artists before. He's like, but I have this friend Mike Shimshak and we collaborate. So I went down to Nashville and met them and learned their process of writing, which was at that point completely different than anything that I had ever done. I was used to kind of writing here, and yeah, we were building the track and the production while writing the song, and it was so inspiring and like so freeing in such a cool way to write. And so yeah, we worked on a tune called Dust Dance that was about our time in Haiti when we met, and we haven't released it. It's changed. Everything's kind of changed a lot from our writing and what we're putting out at this point, but we felt something there for sure.
You talked about the arc of your writing at the show. I saw that you started out with these happy songs and eventually got to describe that a little bit more, because it's not my story, it's your story.
Well, that was just during the quarantine. This was, we probably started writing together maybe a year before the pandemic hit. And so when the pandemic hit and Brent came to Virginia where I was, and we were in the same space, we didn't know what else to do other than write, because we couldn't tour. And it was so fun. Like, we had so much fun doing it. Like, every day was just wake up and like, what do you want to write about? And we were building these productions, and super happy to just like be home and be able to explore this whole thing. And I think for most people during their quarantine, you have these highs and these lows and stuff. And so after 4 or 5 months, we just all were kind of going through stuff together and individually that we were unpacking. So it got to a point where some of the stuff we were writing was a lot more introspective, and it was all of it is a good thing. I think that's how I see us, the evolution of our writing to be, is we're going to explore whatever we feel like we need to explore, and it all kind of leads to the next thing. We don't want to get in the way of that. Just kind of go where it leads.
There were songs about feelings of love. There were songs about just how we are, and things like that. I mean, you guys were they're really excellent songs. There's a lot of powerful lyrics in these songs, and I think the people who haven't heard them need to explore these things, because not a ton of people have had a chance to see you live. That's been difficult for all of us to see live music at all. And I experienced it live, and I was moved. And again, really excited that I was going to be able to chat with you about what was going on with this project. So I'm pretty happy that there's still more to come. Now, the mission work that brought you together, I know that that's going to be difficult until things return to normal, but air quotes on that. But is that something you'll incorporate into the Elevado blueprint, where you're kind of out doing things for?
Yeah, we definitely want to do that, and we definitely want to go back to Haiti, where we were doing the music camps. I think that's, I don't know. We've talked about that lately, just about when we could make that happen again, and what it would look like now in this new phase of what we're doing. But that's a big part of Brent was, we've done things like that for a long time. It's a big part of what we want to bring into this whole journey.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's when I found out that when I jumped on the call. So I got an email from Brad's manager and was like, can we set up a call together? And we got on the call, and I had known of Melodyne, but I didn't know all of the nonprofit that they had created and the type of work that they were doing. And for me, like that was such doing work, and it's not even like they're in a specific vein, but working with Doctors Without Borders, working with Musicians on Call. I lived in Cape Town, South Africa for a year, and was working with several nonprofits over there. Moved to New York City and worked. My first job in New York City was working at this nonprofit in the public school systems with third and fourth graders. Nice. And so it's just been something that's kind of continued on, and I think that that is a really driving force behind the music, is the ability to bring people together for good things. And so when I found out what Brad was doing, it was like all these I just had this epiphany I was like, oh man, like there are other people out here that really trying to forge a path to bring music and helping people together, and not helping people in any sort of like patronizing way, but just being of assistance in any way that we can.
I look forward to seeing what that becomes when the world allows you to do more things like this, because we're still settling into this norm.
Right.
Yeah.
Something I was feeling as you were singing Family, and something that struck me as, because I always want to help people. I always want to make a difference, and which is why I brought you on the show today. I want people to hear you.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, the people that don't know your music, that might really love your music, would be Need to Breathe's fans. And there's something you have in common with Need to Breathe, is that when Bear sings, I feel like I can sing. I can't sing, but I want to sing along with him. And I feel the same when I hear your voices. I want to be able to join in that same tone that you're in and be part of that.
Oh, that's such a great compliment.
That's amazing, awesome. Man. Thank you.
And I got to interview him when he did his Wilder Woods project. I actually got to do the very first interview he did for that before it was even announced.
Oh, amazing. I'm enormous Need to Breathe fan.
Yeah, I could pick that up.
And Wilder Woods too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing I told him was that he makes me want to sing along, much like, even though there's no way I could sing like Steve Perry. When you hear Steve Perry,
right.
I want to sing like that.
Many people try drunkenly at the headphone disco.
It's really bad, but that's the compliment I have to leave in your hands right now, is that you make me want to sing along, and that's a special thing.
That's like
so
deep too.
That's so deep.
I can't do it because I don't have what you have. But
sure, you can.
No, you don't know.
It's the feeling. It's the vibe.
If it's a group of people, backyard, wherever, concert venue, sure, I'll sing along.
Yeah.
But solo, no, you don't want to hear that.
Right.
That's not good. So what is the plan for the project going forward? I know you've got the digital EPs. Will there be a physical media of some sort? Are you going to try and get signed by a label? Are you going to try and hook up on a Need to Breathe tour? I mean, what have you thought through the process yet?
Yeah. Do you want to take this one?
Um,
Do you want me to
It's a
take
big,
this one?
it's a big, wide open question.
It is a big one. You know, I think we've been having a lot of conversations, and obviously this past year has just been real development, right?
And difficult to navigate. Too.
Difficult to navigate because when we were out on the road in March, and everything was getting canceled as we were, and we kind of just embraced the silver lining of the situation. When we were out, we went to all these national parks, began writing a lot more, and figuring out what this is and what this dynamic is. And I think over the past year, it's defined itself a little bit more. But I think in the course of this development, at least in my mind, it's getting out and playing consistently, and really working on our craft and our music, and making the records that inspire us, and really letting it go from there, but consistent content, and just being engaged with the people that are understanding not just like a song or something, but the overall vibe of what we're trying to put out and communicate.
So yeah, we will. I think we have some stuff we're going to be releasing over the summer, and as Brent said, we just want to play as much as possible, and probably we have a lot of unreleased stuff. We write a lot when we're home, so we're looking at talking about doing a full record of all that new stuff too. So
and we'll take a Need to Breathe tour.
Yeah.
Well,
there if you're listening.
Too late for the next one. Switchfoot and somebody else's.
Oh, New Respects.
Yeah,
so good.
One more song, and then I can let you get on your merry way.
Sounds good.
What would you like to do?
Do a little All We Need.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
I'm so sorry. Stay in capos. All right.
Life ain't an easy pill to swallow, like going 15 rounds with the Apollo. I'm taking jabs to the jaw wherever I go, but it's worth the sting. Cause what's a mountaintop without the climb? And what's a Shakespeare sonnet if you ditch the rhyme? What's happiness if you ain't sad sometimes? We need the real thing. If you wanna get high, then you better get low. If you wanna hold on, better learn to let go. It's a beautiful ride when we go with the flow. We got each other and that's all we need. So take the battle with the demons and learn to sit with the hurt that you're feeling. It's the one true path to the healing, and it'll set you free. Never ever meant to face the world solo. A hero flies with the tribe, that's what I know. And love spreads through the canyons like an echo. Yeah, that's the real thing. If you wanna get high, then you better get low. If you wanna hold on, better learn to let go. It's a beautiful ride when we go with the flow. We got each other and that's all we need. If you wanna stand tall, better learn to fall down. If you wanna feel love, better spread it around. See, we all get lost, but we'll all be found. We got each other and that's all we need. Na 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 na, na 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 na, na 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 na. We got each other and that's all we need. If you wanna get high, then you better get low. If you wanna hold on, better learn to let go. It's a beautiful ride when we go with the flow. We got each other and that's all we need. If you wanna stand tall, better learn to fall down. If you wanna feel love, better spread it around. See, we all get lost, but we'll all be found. We got each other and that's all we need. Na 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 na, na 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 na, na 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 na. We got each other and that's all we need.
Hell yeah. That's what I got to say about that. Elevado. And some fantastic stuff that people need to explore. Where is the best spot to find your music?
Anywhere you stream it, Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora,
ElevadoMusic.com.
ElevadoMusic.com.
All streaming platforms.
MySpace,
Instagram.
Napster, Friendster.
Which one actually makes money for you guys so you can continue doing this?
We always forget about Spotify's Spotify's good when it comes to being able to increase numbers and
We also
stuff
have
like
a
that.
functional merch store.
We do have
on
a
our-
functional merch store.
I could buy
on our
MP3s.
website.
Buy MP3s and you would get more of that proceeds than the thousands of spins it takes to get you 5 cents.
True. Yes.
Thank you for sharing your gifts with me. It was truly special.
Thank
to
you,
have
Well,
man.
likewise.
I
Thank you.
just want to say, man, that your energy and your vibe is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
It's a real. I feel it.
Thank you. This is the one bright spot I have in my life right now. Doing this to help my music community in the way that I used to be able to do in a radio setting. This is the best I can do right now, and this is better than nothing for sure.
It's
And
incredible. Yeah.
It's great.
it feels good. So thank you for letting me do it too, and being a willing participant in my experiment.
Of course,
Pleasure.
Of course.
Big thanks to Grove
anytime.
Studios. Grove Studios in Ypsilanti. If you're looking for a place, this is the place to do your practice for your band, to make yourself a podcaster, because you don't need me to do that. You need them. I can't help you. But I look forward to hearing more of what's coming from Elevado,
Likewise,
and
man.
hopefully there'll be more shows to attend as well.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. We got some more Michigan dates coming up, I think.
Good deal.
Yeah.
We'll see you in the mitten again. All right.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right.
Thanks for being here on the podcast, Acoustic Alternatives. I'll be back with another one next week, or 2 weeks, excuse me. My guest on that one will be Sydney Burnham.